No. And we're back as we get to a rip-roaring Sunday Live. Wow. It's the Average Joe Sports Show.
Hey.
That is the Iron Horse pulling.
Elijah just did you dirty.
Yeah.
That is Elijah Herbel.
I had pressed the start before that whole thing started up, and I went, this is going to be interesting.
Bill Doleman, Pride of Fairbury, Chris Schmidt, a happy bunch of Husker basketball fans yesterday. Win in Champaign. We will discuss, and we'll hear from Sammy, my boy, as Sam Hoiberg set to be with us here. Little under a half hour. And fellas, just a good vibe, good mood. It's the holiday season. Nebraska, the gift that keeps on giving, 11-0. And what a start for Price Samford as he got hot. What a answer as things got a little tight by Nebraska with Garcia and his big moments and bench points. And then, of course, Jamarcus Lawrence drills it from the wing as time expires. And the call heard around the internet and around radio sets. Do you have it, Elijah?
You want the full play-by-play?
I want the full Kent Pavelka experience. Grab a cigarette, everybody.
5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Jamarcus Lawrence hits one with 2 seconds, 2/10 of a second to go. I'm not going to last this year.
KP, the best man. He's awesome.
After listening to it, because I wasn't listening to the radio, we were, majority of us were watching on TV. Yeah. So then you immediately think, oh man, I got to hear Kent's call. And then I hear Kent's call. And I also immediately think, man, what is the Schick and Nick show going to do with that call? But if you don't know Kent, and everybody is so excited for Kent that he's going through, and he had a big week. I mean, he had some epic calls on Sunday against Creighton. And then yesterday, I would love to hear the reaction of people that don't follow Nebraska basketball and don't know how great KP is, of when they heard that, what did they think Kent was doing? But it's great. You know what? He's on this ride. My thing, and we're excited to have Sam back on the show this morning, is you look at like the metrics. Nebraska has 2 non-conference games left. And remember, they could next Sunday get a big man back who they haven't had all year. Oogie has been battling a back injury, and he could be back next Sunday. So that adds another layer to it. I wonder, now that you're 11-0, you got 2 more non-con games before the year is over, so you could be 13-0. The metrics look really good. I expect Nebraska tomorrow in the rankings to be knocking on the door of being like at that 15 level, which is wild. Has people's expectations changed where it's not only, oh, this is a tourney level team, which I've said, get in the tournament. We always are searching for that first victory. But I wonder if people have looked at this week and especially yesterday and have said, woo, this could possibly be a second weekend team. I don't know if you're ready to go that far, but they've laid it out there through 11 games that this team is different.
They're absolutely different. And some of the early projections when we talk crop reports, I was kind of scrolling through, and I've seen Nebraska on the 3 line right now, along with Michigan State. We'll get a little further deeper into the ball game yesterday, just the perseverance Nebraska has, because fellas, we've watched a lot of college basketball, and Gary and Bill, you've called tournament games in the dance, but you've also been a part of that road challenge. And if you go on the road in major conference basketball, you're going to need a 10-point cushion to overcome momentum shifts, officiating, and just the home cooking that happens. You need to be up 9 to 11 points deep into that ball game. Nebraska did that twice in each half, and their start was incredible. Then their response after the 13 rip run by Illinois to tie things up, and you're kind of like, okay, Nebraska, you'd take it. They're tied at half, but you're like, well, they were up 13, 14 points, and you've had a career half by Price Sanford. What's the second half going to look like? And Jamarcus Lawrence in Nebraska didn't really blink. They came out and did some work to, again, create that cushion they need.
How many times in recent years, or even just all time, have you seen Nebraska go on the road in the Big Ten and jump out to a lead, and then, here comes the opponent, and then Nebraska ends up getting boat raced by 20 points by the end of the game because they start getting hot from three? That team never panicked. That was the incredible thing. Late in that first half, Illinois makes the run. You can't grab a defensive board to save your life. Illinois is attacking the offensive glass. They're getting extra possessions. They come back, 10-0 run, tie the game up. And I think everyone in Husker Nation go, I've seen this story before. I know how this second half's going to go. That team went back in the locker room, locked in. Offensive rebounding was not a story for Illinois in the second half. For as much as they got after the glass at the end of the first half, I was thinking, okay, they found something there. Jared Garcia came in, gave you some huge minutes in the second half. Rink Mass locked in, Burke locked in. You had Sam Hoiberg picking up some defensive rebounds. I want to know what Fred said at halftime. Maybe we'll ask Sam about that here, because that team locked in on the glass. They never panicked once in front of a hostile road environment. And they stayed locked in through the second half, when I think a lot of previous Husker basketball teams would have felt that panic, would have let the offensive glass of Illinois eat them up. I mean, that team, it's different this year.
Well, it's like I said the other day, that this is what college basketball used to be about and should be about, and that's having guys who are in your program for a couple of years developing and then a couple of years paying off. And to see a team anywhere, not just Nebraska, that's got senior leadership and maturity. They know their roles and they buy in, and they're not always looking to the league after looking at the stat sheet, then looking to the league and figuring out how can I get out of here and get better here so I can go someplace else and then get to the league. The way they have constructed this is old school, and they play old school defense. They get after it. They still shoot the three. Kids love shooting the three, and they love to dunk. Not many dunks yesterday, by the way, but
not without technicals.
But I love seeing. I just love seeing a team that has junior and senior leadership, and Sam's personality and Rink Mass presence are really key. And to see Jamarcus Lawrence come back the way he did, that's really unique, to leave and then come back and be welcomed back with open arms and have your spot back. But he is such a different player, more mature. He was steady after he made the shot yesterday. He collected himself for his TV interview. I wish college basketball was like that again, where you have, we grew up watching, Duke, Carolina, and you knew who those Carolina and Duke freshmen were. You knew what they were going to be like when they were seniors, or UCLA guys or Indiana guys and Syracuse, those teams that were on Big Monday all the time. You knew who they were and thought, well, maybe after their junior year, they might go pro. But they were always in the same uniform. And that's what college basketball is about. Nebraska is a throwback to that.
You know what, Schmidt, you made a good point earlier about, if you look at that game and it's I don't know if you guys, after a game, you focus on your own team, but if you ever dabble on the other side to hear what the response is, like Nebraska exposed a lot of stuff about Illinois yesterday, especially that front court, which when we were talking yesterday morning, that was one of those things that we brought up, is how will Nebraska attack Illinois' front court, because it's very talented. And Elijah's point about rebounding, Nebraska got out-rebounded by 7. They gave up double-figure offensive rebounds, but they were the smarter basketball team in key moments in that game. The exciting whites, or whatever you want to call them. Smart over athleticism sometimes can win you a basketball game, and I thought it did that yesterday. But I think Nebraska exposed a couple of things about Illinois. But I think something exposed about Nebraska yesterday that they showed everyone, and kind of to your point, Schmitty, is Nebraska came out and threw the first punch, okay? Yeah, don't worry. She's close. They threw the first punch with Price pop a shot, okay? And then, he had, 28 in the first half, or 26 or 28 in the first half. And then, they kind of paid a lot of attention to 21 in the second half. But as he wasn't as blazing, all of a sudden Jared Garcia arrived. And you went, was not familiar with your game. But Garcia played well on Sunday against Creighton. And then at the end to have a guy like J-Law make a shot. I mean, it just shows you this team, you can't just have one guy. They have multiple guys that when one guy is down, somebody else picks him up. And it just adds to the layer of this is a very likable team. And then it's gone from a likable team, guys. This is a good basketball team. This is a good basketball team that has a chance to do some big things.
You know what was cool is the different angles and footage of the shot Jamarcus hit, and then the celebration. Everybody raced to hug and high five, but the guy that was not last to that party was Connor Esigian, hopping on one foot with crutches in hand
and phone in the other.
Right. Well,
But it was the Meta glasses. Actually, he had the first person glasses that he was wearing.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
but here comes old Esigian just hopping along with the crutches in hand, and I kind of laughed my butt off when I saw that as he was there. Got this stat sent to me by kind of a group chat I'm in with my buddy Hawaiian Dave, who loves Nebraska basketball.
Is he Hawaiian or is he just?
He lives over
Hawaiian?
there. He lives.
Okay,
over
so that's fair. That's fair.
there.
I don't think you can
So,
self-gloss yourself Hawaiian if you're not Hawaiian or
I
live
have
in Hawaii.
titled him Hawaiian Dave, but Big Ten teams are now 3-36 in conference play after being whistled for 12 or more fouls than their opponent since 2011. That got things a little interesting, didn't it? With Nebraska's foul trouble with the guards, you had a handful of guys with
What was
two
it?
fouls.
At one point, it was 21-9.
Yeah, it was 21-7
And-
at one point. It ended up 21-9.
And Illinois people were bitching.
Yeah.
Jesus.
To be fair, that foul call at the end was bad, but I think that was kind of just retribution for how the rest of the game was called. That foul,
It was
with Garcia driving in, that was a bad call.
It was 10-3 at one point in the first half,
agree.
and you're thinking, okay, well, they're going to get some whistles to go their way in the second half. The most egregious was the 3-point.
That was
the
awful.
3-point foul that they gave Illinois. That's terrible. That's got to be almost reviewable if you are forcing the contact like that into a vertical defender. That was ridiculous. That was one of the worst.
But you know what,
Yeah.
guys? Like as and we've seen Fred. Fred will get excited, but like nobody on the floor, just kept bitching at the officials. They just kept playing. I think you kind of walk into that environment and you're like, okay, especially if you were there 2 years ago, you expect it. They're going to get some calls. I thought the officiating at the beginning of the game was pretty good. And then with about 6 minutes to go in the first half, it was like, okay, we know our job today. But Nebraska, guys on the floor didn't let them affect it. They weren't complaining. They would say something, but then they would move on to the next play. And I think that all goes under the umbrella of the maturity of this team. Man, they don't ride the wave. They're just pretty steady Eddie, and they just go play ball.
They don't blink. They have fun. They always had a response yesterday, whether not only the start we've highlighted, but the answer, the extra work, and then they are seamless together with the way that they can get into the paint and then either drop one off when someone's trying to close in on the rim. Garcia had a lot of drop-offs down low where he was able to go up and be a part of that 10-point second half he had. Same with Rink. Rink had a great second half, and it was pretty special. We were at a pretty well-known Southeast bar yesterday watching it. You guys have all been there at one point in your life or another, and I'm there with my buddy Nate the Great. The guy doesn't miss putts. And then I kind of sat next to Milheisen. He was there, and it's funny to just see his reaction. Dude was locked in. Our old boy John Clare was there as well. And I mean, the place after Lawrence hit it, I mean, it's fun to watch in your man cave and hang out. But if you go out and you're watching a really good basketball game, and then you get that buzzer beater, the place erupted. There's fist pounds, high fives, hugs, shots being ordered, and then Go Big Red just starts blaring all on the loudspeakers. It was a pretty good scene. I wish I had footage of it. I am not a cinematographer.
Well, people love this team. There's no question. And to have them do that yesterday, and then to have what could transpire in a couple hours at the what do you call it? The Terry at the John?
No, it's the Bob? It's the John on the Terry at the Bob.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, it's pretty spectacular weekend for Nebraska athletics, and if they can knock off Texas A&M and A&M's biggest fan, that would be pretty sweet.
Hey, this is
before we get to volleyball. There's one guy I want to bring up here because numbers aren't going to jump off the stat sheet, but man, I just love watching him play. Lincoln kid. How about Braden Frager? One of those guys that I would like to be mic'd up, but should never be mic'd up because he's probably saying some heinous things out there. When he drew the technical on that Illinois guy. I'm not sure if you guys saw. The Illinois dude got benched after that because he came back to Brad Underwood after the technical foul. And if you can read lips, he was saying, "I don't care. I don't care." He was willing to pick up that technical because I know Braden Frager was chirping him all game long. Frager was chirping Wisconsin all game long. That's one of those guys that whenever he's on your team, you as a teammate have to, okay, I got to pick up my play because he's writing checks and we got to cash him.
That's true.
The guy that gets the other team fired up.
Yeah. Here's where
weapon. Put him in,
guys. Here's where we are with Nebraska basketball. And I know people don't want to have everything come back to Nebraska football, but January 2nd is like a big day because that's the start of portal season. All I ask is that is a monster day for Nebraska men's basketball because Michigan State is at PBA on January 2nd. So whoever's going to jump into the portal, whoever's going to do a nice little fancy Instagram post, whoever is going to come to Lincoln on January 2nd to play football, can you wait until Saturday morning? Okay. Can you wait? Because January 2nd is the day Nebraska, Michigan State at PBA. Thank you. That's my little PSA for the morning.
Well, and let's be real with what is on Sparty's schedule and what is on Nebraska's schedule. Let's count some chickens here. You're looking at maybe, dare I sneak into a top 10 matchup? I mean, depends on who loses. And I know Nebraska's in the 20s right now. They're going to bump up. They have a little bit of a breather. They have a couple of very winnable games. Again, we're counting chickens. But Nebraska could be 13-0, should be 13-0 by the time Sparty rolls in. And Sparty has just that one loss. Both teams, it could be top 10, man.
I don't know if Nebraska
or on the fringe. They'll need some help.
Yeah. But you know what? You probably will have two teams playing on that day that are combined 25-1.
Yeah.
And it's an 8:00 start. Fans have plenty of time.
It's an 8 p.m. start. It's a Friday night. Do we do a pregame, fellas?
I think people will be a little primed for prime time. Nebraska's got a ton of 8:00 start times this year in conference play. But a Friday night. A Friday night, before Michigan State, people might have time to tailgate before that.
Well, so Ken Palm has updated, the metrics are pretty good. The net ranking this morning is pretty good. Ken Palm has updated Nebraska's overall record 24-7, 13-7 in the Big Ten.
That's probably a 5 or maybe a 4. You're 24-7 in the Big Ten and you finish in the top 5. You're looking at least a 5
at worst.
Then it's all, look, the tournament's all about matchups. Nebraska found that out many times. They found it out against A&M. They did not match up well with that team. The one thing that they're proving is that they can match up right now, as they did with Wisconsin, who's a little different than Illinois. They can match up with teams that are different, teams that different styles, teams that are athletic. And they did that yesterday.
The one thing Nebraska really hasn't run into is one of those uber athletic teams that you'll see, which is your Michigan and your Michigan State. But I've seen over the last couple of games, one of the things that's kind of been an issue for Nebraska is when you go up against that team that's got a couple of big men that can shoot. That's been an issue for Nebraska. They seem to have that figured out this year. I mean, other teams' big men, hey, you have to guard the 3-point line. you can't really help off of your guy whenever there is drives onto into the inside. Like this team, there's more styles of team they can be. I still fear that uber athletic, that Texas A&M type team, and I think Nebraska this year be more equipped to beat that Texas A&M team. We're talking more of those top 25 uber athletic teams like the Houstons, the Michigans, the Michigan States, the Arizonas. Those teams would really cause them some issues, I think, and you really haven't faced a team like that. But also, this team has been surprising me all year long, so maybe they go up against one of those teams and get a win and prove me wrong. But I still haven't seen that, and I'm still concerned about that type of team.
Flip it around, though. I mean, look at the matchup problems Nebraska can cause with a Berke that is on, right, from beyond the arc, but his athleticism. And then Rink is a treasure to watch because of all he can do off the dribble. He can put the construction hat on and go to work in the paint. And then he can handle the basketball. And then you got your guards. And what's awesome is how well they share the ball. That's what's incredible is just the unselfishness of this basketball team. And man, everyone's loving it. And there's been so many Nebraska basketball fans we've bumped into over the years that when they start the season, this is the year, right? That's the chant. This is the year it finally gets done. But Nebraska basketball, Nebraska volleyball, they've done an awesome job of lifting the Big Red spirits as you get closer to 2026. That's the other thing. There's so much fandom right now. People love watching this team. It's a favorite.
Remember a couple of years ago when the big draw at a Nebraska basketball game was to see whether or not Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola would come in and how much security they had around them? That was the big draw or the big sight. It was always on. They were always showing Dylan.
What recruits are at the game.
Yeah, what recruits are at the game, all that stuff. And it's nice to see the main thing be the main thing.
Elijah Herbel, Gary Sharp, Bill Doleman, Chris Schmidt. The Sunday Live Average Joe Sports Show will about 5 minutes away. Sam Hoiberg will join us. We're slated to hear from Sam and get his perspective on the incredible win at Illinois.
He can join us when he wants to. It's up to him.
Hey, question though, are you guys surprised though? Did you feel good about Nebraska's chances yesterday, or were you like, all right, they'll go play hard, but it's just not a winnable ball game because of Illinois? It's a road game. You know, Nebraska's had a nice start, but you know, we were doing some math. What did Nebraska need to do this week, right? You beat Creighton. What do you do against Wisconsin? You have Illinois, and then Sparty looms. We were talking 2-1. Well, Nebraska went 3-0. 3-0 in the second week of December.
In terms of my surprise, there was and I alluded to this earlier, Gary. It's the fact that when Nebraska jumped out, I went, oh, okay, you know they're not going to run Illinois off of their home floor. You knew Illinois still had some juice in them. They were going to make a run. The fact that Illinois tied it up before half, that was whenever I went, okay, I've seen this story before. I know how it's going to go. That's where my surprise came from. Based on the first 10 minutes of that game, like, you know what, Nebraska can go out and do this. Based on the final 5-6 minutes of the half, I went, okay, hey, that was a hell of a fight, but Illinois, they got momentum. They're knocking down some shots. They're hitting the offensive glass. I was surprised just based on how the half ended, how that second half went, but I don't think I should have been surprised because this team, the maturity, the confidence, the just different nature that they have about them, the different air of confidence, I don't think I should have been surprised. That's on me.
Yeah, you know, I like it. I knew yesterday would be a challenge just because it's the first true road game. That's a good basketball team that's in Champaign. I wasn't, and then we talked about this yesterday morning. You weren't dreading the game from my standpoint. I didn't say, hey, Nebraska's going to win, no doubt, but I wasn't dreading it. Like, I was like, you know what? I think Nebraska can go in there and hang with Illinois and maybe catch a break here or there. And you never know what's going to happen in a make or miss sport. And I think that's where they are is now Michigan's on a whole different level. I mean, that's a scary team. Purdue's a scary team. Michigan State will be very good. But Nebraska is so far away from preseason 15th in the poll.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this because Sam brought it up. You know, we kind of have PTSD when it comes to Nebraska basketball. It's a good story. It's an outlet from football. You know, hey, give us something. Give us something. Give us that one time. And these guys know they're good. And they just keep proving it. And I don't know what questions you have, like from a fan or media standpoint, about this team that you're like, I don't know. I mean, I think you can say, I know. This team is different. This team is different, and they're finding ways to win basketball games with a plethora of players. It's not just one guy. It's not if Bryce has an off night shooting, Nebraska's in trouble. Even when Rink Mast isn't the number one guy, they find a way to win. They got people all over the floor. And Fred, general manager, has matched Fred, head coach. And I think we're seeing what's happened here through 11 games is that those two have finally connected. And, Nebraska is making some noise. And people are like, whoa, we live in an upside down world where on the morning of December 14th, Indiana football is a 1 seed in the playoff and has a Heisman Trophy winner. And Nebraska fans are talking more about their men's basketball team than their football team.
And thank God for Dennis LeBlanc, Nebraska athletic director, who had the vision during his 2-week tenure as athletic director to extend the contract of Fred Hoiberg. He knew this could happen. He saw it and he made it happen and got Fred a little extra time.
It's pretty good. Keep the mayor mayoring. I like it. So let's spend a minute of college football. We'll get back to some hoops and hear from Sam Hoiberg in a little bit. But Mendoza
You seem to be
gets
distracted by your wife.
Well,
a lot of stuff going on in your basement there. I'm staring at the tree, and now you get your wife.
Junior showed up unannounced last night.
Doesn't he live at your house?
No, he lives at.
Oh no, he doesn't. He lives in the he lives in the frat house. My bad.
He lives in the fraternity house, not the sorority house, Sharpie. But
hey, you never know.
Yeah. His car is downtown. I was a little panicked. I'm like, is Junior got to work this morning? And he doesn't because he has the first round of his finals tonight. He's got to do a final online. So yeah, I'm waiting for the bunny to one morning come out from the bedroom with a tire iron or something while I'm on air and just say good morning to me. From
that dude's got to get into college of journalism. Finals week. You think I'm going to give a final out during finals week?
No, I don't think you are.
Good God.
Love me some Billy D.
but I love his pre-med class schedule May. So he's studying away. So yeah, I have the lovely wife is off to brunch and he's downstairs, and so maybe he'll let the dogs out. People have been asking for the pups because that's always a treat for everybody, right? That's Stampede.
Can I interest you? We're not doing a very good job of the travel and transport of selling the Vegas Bowl. But could I interest you in the game is intriguing on one side of the ball because it is portal tryout season for the defense.
Yeah. That's
they will put some guys in the fire to see how they react, and then they'll let them react when January 2nd begins.
I think that's what this is. You brought in now you're still waiting on a defensive line coach, brought in your coordinator. We'll see how much of San Diego State defensively transfers up to Lincoln. And then you have your offensive line coach here to get eyes on people. What do you like? What do you see for these few weeks as you get ready for Utah? And then it is audition time. It's audition time for your offensive line. Some of the guys that are going to need to step up. It's audition time to see what depth pieces you have. And it's also fill in the blank time, right? I mean, where does Nebraska go in the portal? Because I think we both think that they're going to have to be very active on both lines of scrimmage, despite what you feel good about already here.
Yeah. So let me, we talked yesterday, and you're going to start to see San Diego State defensive guys start to trickle out into the portal. And I don't think, Nebraska has to be careful here you just don't take every San Diego State guy. Whoever is transferred from San Diego State, if you have an interest in them, I think they have to fit. And I think they have to be better than some guys you have on campus right now. But I've we did this yesterday, this experiment, and we know that Nebraska needs to find guys in the trenches. But looking more at San Diego State, and maybe there's a guy on the San Diego State roster, or they have their eyes on somebody. I think I've moved up linebackers as a priority in the portal, because if they're going to play this 4-2-5, which they are, which I think will benefit some guys on that defensive line that are here currently, that, you know, they will put in better spots. I think the fast physical linebackers they need. And so I'm going to, not to the top, but I'm going to move up the priority of finding those kind of linebackers in the portal, because I don't know outside of a couple that are currently on campus, Nebraska has those kind of linebackers that can shine in this defense.
Well, you need a plethora of them. Let's go back to hoops. We welcome in Sam Hoiberg here to the Average Joe Sunday Live Show. Sam, how we doing, man? Congrats on just a hell of a victory yesterday. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. It's been a pretty fun week this week, but thanks for having me on again.
Nice
God,
pass.
This looks like so
Thanks,
much like a
Phil.
dorm room with a flag on the wall. Nothing else is on the wall. You got Christmas lights up.
We do. Yeah, we got Christmas lights. I think that's Rink's flag. I don't know whose wolf picture that is. I kind of hate it. It's a wolf and a lion, actually. It's like my first time really looking at it. Not my favorite piece, but maybe Henry Bird put that one up.
Do you? Is there any wolf or lion T-shirts in the home?
Not that I know of. No, I think this is its own thing over there.
I should have worn my shirt today, Schmidt. I'm sorry.
Well, Elijah has a black wolf shirt he'll wear from time to time to intimidate viewers. So
It's from a bachelor party, and you know what? If I paid for it, I'm gonna wear it.
As you should.
So how about yesterday? Take us through. Well, let's go through the final possession. You trigger things, and nice find of Jamarcus for the winner.
Yeah, first off, I'm going to give all the credit to Jamar. I didn't even throw that good of a pass. It kind of sailed on me, and he had to reach up and grab it, which I haven't noticed many people say that, but he made a hell of a play. And I didn't realize this until we were in the locker room. I went the wrong way. I was supposed to go off of Rink, but we run that play a lot in the offseason, and I'm always going off Price. So when my dad called the play, I assumed I was going off of Price and didn't even I just kind of locked in to my breathing and stuff after he said that. I was supposed to go off of Rink and go to the right. And that's why Jared slashed, because he was supposed to slash from the other side. But I drove in, drew the defender. If I made a better pass, it would have been an easier shot for Jamar, but obviously made a hell of a shot. And it's so much fun, especially when on the road. Again, a really good student section that they get on you too.
You're a guy that played with Jamarcus a couple of years ago. What can you say about his growth going off to Rhode Island and coming back? How different of a player is he after that season away?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing for Jamar is his confidence level right now. You saw it at the end of his freshman year. I still remember Tom Izzo in a presser saying that kid's going to be a hell of a player in this league. When he's confident, he's a really freaking good player, and he's matured a lot. That's the main reason he's playing better and helping us win more games, is due to that maturity. And same with the whole of our group. I don't think we get too high after, big wins like the Wisconsin one. We're able to refocus for games like yesterday.
So you've look, your secret's safe with us. Nobody's going to know that you went the wrong way. But when you did have the conversation with your head coach, did he say, what were you thinking? Were you not listening? What was the post-game strategy session with, you're supposed to do it this way?
Well, it was actually, I think Kale or Price was the first one. I think it was Price. He's like, you went the wrong way. I mean, we were pretty happy. We were waiting to throw the water on Jamar. But my dad didn't bring it up, which I was surprised. I thought he would, because I didn't even talk to him until he got to the plane. And as I'm walking on the plane, I go, hey, sorry for going the wrong way. And he just laughed and said, we won't tell anyone.
All right. So describe this week. It started on Sunday, then it went to Wednesday, and then it went to yesterday. That's a hell of a week for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you look back at, beating Kansas State and those other Power 5 teams. New Mexico's looking really good right now, but back then, we were starting to get a little recognition, but they looked at this 3-game slate and they're like, we'll see what they really are. And I think we took that a little bit personally. I mean, 3 games in 6 days is tough, but we knew we could do it. And I mean, I'm really proud of how we responded with not getting too high after these wins because they were really fun wins, all of them. Like that Creighton game, that's a game that is as fun as any to win, those big rivalry games. And then you beat Wisconsin by 30. That was, I mean, so much fun. And we're all in a really great mood, but no one ever seemed to get complacent. And then you go to Illinois yesterday and really prove who you are. I don't know if they're going to say, hey, you haven't played Michigan yet. They still haven't played anyone. But I think we kind of proved to the nation who we are as of yesterday.
Well, Sam, tell us here with this point in the calendar, a short week like this, 3 games, 6 days, finals week's also here. What's the ratio between studying for finals and studying film for Illinois?
Oh, Bill's got me swamped with my finals, so it's about 90% school.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice of him.
You got a pass, no pass yesterday, so things are looking up. So that's good. What was it like in the first half when Price went on the heater and you're just out there on the floor? I mean, I know you're locked in on the game plan and all, but it's like, damn, dude.
Yeah, when he we've seen him in practice. He started to practice, I think 9 for 9 from 3 one day. So we knew he had something like that in him. But he admitted that was a heater that he never felt before. But yeah, it reminded me of playing with Casey a little bit when he would go on his heaters and you just gave him the ball and knew it was going in. There was one play where I got an assist on it because I passed it to him. He dribbled one dribble sideways and just chucked it from 3. And he looked at me, gave me this I'm that guy look, and I just looked at him like, oh my God. I just gave him a shocked look because he always looks at me after I get him assist, and he looked at me like, it was really funny. But he was unbelievable. That's one of those. I mean, we ran good plays for him, and he made the shots. So it really did feel like kind of playing with Casey. We ran a lot of the similar stuff that we would for him a couple of years ago, and yeah, when he put it up, you knew it was going in.
Hey, you guys have guys from all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of countries, but you get along. Like I just saw Connor Essegian took Jamarcus Lawrence to a coffee shop and had him order a latte for the first time, and he had no idea what he was ordering. It was like funny content. And Connor, even though he can't play, he's providing a bunch of content. But you guys get along. It doesn't matter if it's a freshman or you as an older guy. What is the relationship between everybody on this team where it doesn't matter if you're the lead guy or the last guy? Everybody is like, hey, we play at Nebraska.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest examples of that is you look at Jared, and he's obviously been huge these last 2 games for us down the stretch. And when he wasn't playing, he didn't come here to not play minutes. He's an older guy. He's 24, and he wasn't getting minutes at the start of the year. And you look at him on the bench at the Creighton game, and he's the most passionate one on the bench. We got everyone rooting for each other. There's not a single selfish player on this team, and that goes so far. I've talked about it since the summer, really, that this is the best chemistry I've felt as a player here, and that contributes so much to your success. 2 years ago, we had great chemistry. Last year was not our best, I would say, and that probably contributed to being more up and down. And this year, everyone roots for each other. No one's selfish, and it really makes a difference.
How do you get that? How do you develop that over time, especially with new guys who do come in? And I mentioned this team is. It reminds me of an old school team where there are veterans that you watch play, the years. And Nebraska's gone to the transfer portal. I get that, but how do you develop a chemistry, whether it's on the court or off the court, without it being a concerted effort by the coaching staff and people saying, hey, we're all going to get along here, and this is how? Yeah,
I think a big thing is your leaders. You have to make an effort to, make everyone feel welcome at first. And, there's obviously tough stretches in the summer when you're going through the early development of learning the system and making sure they feel like, I would say, supported when they're making mistakes and that it's going to get better. That's been my big thing with Jared is he didn't get many reps because he was hurt in the offseason. I told him his time was coming. He just has to keep learning and stay with the process. And it's paying off in a big way now. And I've been telling Oogie the same thing when he comes back. he might not be playing a lot early just because he hasn't had the reps to really understand the system. Like once he gets it down, he's going to help us. But yeah, I think me and Rink make a big effort to bring the group together, and part of it is luck too, just personalities meshing, but a lot of it is just being supportive of each other and like, yeah, I mean, there's not much more than that, I would say.
Sam, do you guys go ahead, Sharpie.
Do you have a favorite Bear K meme from the Wisconsin game that you have seen or has been shared with you?
I mean, I think probably Bear K sucked the blood of your opposing team. That one's pretty good.
That's
He seems
all
to
right.
be he seems to be unintentionally a funny guy.
Oh, that's exactly right. He's hilarious. And I mean, a lot of it might be the accent and just the outlandish personality that he has. Like, I don't know if you guys watch his press conference, but just everything he says is funny. But he is a funny guy too. Like he'll say out of pocket things that just make you laugh, and you love being around the guy.
Well, the post game press conference the other day, and Sam and I were talking about this the other day when he was trying to find the right word. So the guy from Turkey looked to Rank Mast from the Netherlands to find the right word to say in English. Like, how do you say? That was funny.
Yeah, Rink's an honorary American at this point. I think he sounds as American as me.
He went and toured. I saw this over the summer. He went and toured all the national parks. Talked about how beautiful this country is. Like, yeah, honorary American. He's got it there.
100%. Yeah.
Well, he almost took out the bench yesterday and an assistant coach when he grabbed the ball to call timeout as well.
That was my favorite meme of the day. Was Barstool Huskers posted a GIF of the guy just looking up in horror, and they said Peyton Borders was that when BK was jumping over him. That was, I mean, a great hustle play, and some funny memes came out of it too.
Sam, is there a moment in yesterday's game that you knew it was going to be okay? And what I mean by that, things got tight, and you had the finish to the first half, and then it was also tied late in the second half, obviously beyond the Jamarcus's game winner. But, I mean, things and momentum kind of got shifted.
Yeah, I mean, the end of that first half, would they go on a 13-0 run to finish it? 4 of our starters were out with 2 fouls. And we were up by like 15, I think, at one point. And I was not worried at all. I was honestly I was smiling walking to the locker room because I thought the refs were terrible. First off, but I was not worried at all because I knew we'd get back in the game, and I thought we controlled the pace, honestly the entire game when we were in, and then when we got up 5 right away in the second half, I knew we were like that was our game to win, and we overcame some tough officiating, but I think that shot that Jamar hit was a little bit of the basketball gods' karma there, giving us a little hand because I think we really controlled that game from start to finish, other than a couple stretches.
Sam, speaking of that shot from Jamarcus, I assume you've heard Kent Pavelka's call. I'm gonna play it for you real fast. I'll get the breakdown.
Real time reaction.
Yes.
Pavelka.
5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Jamarcus Lawrence hits one with 2 seconds, 2/10 of a second to go. And I'm not going to last this year.
I mean, that is unbelievable. And my biggest, like, not regret, another word here, but if I don't get a tournament win here, my saddest thing will be not getting it for him because we got to get it done for that guy. I mean, I've never heard anyone react to a shot like that, just in general. That is pure passion, and I don't even know what you call it, but Kent's the best. That's such a funny clip.
God!
Did your dad hear that?
I don't know if he did. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is unbelievable.
While we're talking about the calls here, the TV guys, they were a little bit dubious. They thought you were initiating the offense a little bit late there. I know we had you take us through the final play there, but when were you initiating the offense? Was there any like doubt in your mind? Like, oh man, this clock's really running down here?
Nope. The call was to go at 7 seconds, and I had to wait for Rink and Price to come. So it really wasn't my call when to penetrate. I had to wait for them, but they went at 7. You don't want to give the other team a chance to shoot or get a rebound and throw it up if you make a shot like that. And I think that's why 7 was the time, because you don't want – if you go too early, they can score if you get a quick layup or something. So, yeah, I did hear that they said that, but that was the call from the get-go, was at 7.
So what's going through your mind when you're bringing the ball to the floor and you got the guy right in your face?
Don't turn it over.
Good.
Yeah.
That's an A. That's an A for the day.
To be completely honest, this is the second time he's drawn up a play for me to get to the rim in crunch time. The other was Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me that 4 years ago, I would have called you crazy. But now that I've gotten a lot more confident this year driving to the hoop, I was really confident I could make a play. But it's a really good set. It's tough to guard especially if you got a guy like Boswell still locked in on Price that he couldn't make the switch like they had been switching all game, and that got me around Boswell or Stojakovic very easily to draw the help. But I do a lot of breath work pregame and during games to stay calm. So I wasn't like nervous or anything. I felt like I stayed at a really calm level all game, and the team did too. And that's why we were able to withstand those runs. But yeah, at the end of the game, all I'm thinking is just be calm playing basketball.
Well, he does the same thing in class, though, too, by the way. I noticed
breath work.
Stay calm in class. Yeah, pressure.
Sam, as you look back at your journey here, it's back-to-back Big Ten coaches now. Greg Gard and Brad Underwood, both in their post-game press conferences, giving flowers to you. What does that mean whenever you look back at where you were walking into this program? Does that mean anything to you whenever you hear them essentially say Sam Hoiberg was the MVP of that team's performance?
Absolutely. It's cool to be, noticed by random Twitter people and stuff like that. That's cool and all, but getting shout outs from big time coaches like Brad Underwood is an amazing coach. Look at what he's done at every school he's been to. That is such a cool thing to hear from them. And, I've had a lot of doubters just due to my stats and everything. So kind of seeing a little bit of recognition and getting from the coaches is very, I can't think of the word right now, but it is really cool for me to see that stuff. And I'm just going to keep playing that way and trying to affect winning. And, it's paying off right now for our team.
Hey, by the way, continued success. Your sports section pod that you do with your buddy is really, really good. But I have a question. You have a hat. It's a red hat that has corn and then an ear of corn. Where did you get that hat?
Yeah, so I actually just texted my sister about this because she got me the hat. It was her friend of a friend, and I believe the website is Rally House. I was looking at it because other people after I did that podcast were asking me where they can get the hat, and I think there's only a white one. It's the same hat, but it's white. Yeah. It's a pretty cool hat still, but I believe Rally House is the website.
We will have to check that out.
Yeah.
It's
We're
pretty
on hats here, so as you know,
yeah, nice hat, Bill.
Yes.
Sam, before we get you out of here, really appreciate your time here on a Sunday morning. By the way, I know you got a busy life, so it's much appreciated you stopping by with us here. I said this earlier in the show, and I want to get your thoughts on it because you're on the court with him. I said Braden Frager is one of those guys that I'd like to hear him mic'd up, but I don't think he should ever be mic'd up because it seems like from the responses he gets from some opposition that he might be saying some heinous things out there. What's the trash talk like from Braden Frager down on the floor?
You're 100% right for that with your mic quote. I don't really know what he says, to be honest. Just a lot of random, filler trash talk. But my favorite clip maybe from all of social media yesterday was Frager slapping the guy's hand that was flipping us off. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't see that. Tell me
No.
a little more here. What's going on with that?
So we were celebrating, kind of like circled around Jamar, and there's a guy sitting courtside just flipping us off, and Frager just looks at him and slaps his hand, and I don't know what he said to him, and kind of bounces away. But yeah, I mean, he's got a little. I mean, he is a dickhead, no question about it. In a great way. You got to have some of that to be a great player,
Yeah.
which he is.
He is one. He is ours.
Yeah, there's a maturity aspect that he's got to work on, but he's still 18, and yeah, it makes. I mean, he's very entertaining, no question.
He drew a technical yesterday. He got
That was
that.
huge.
Yeah, it's a huge moment in that game, and I'm not sure what he was saying, but the guy from Illinois is going back to the bench saying, "I don't care, I'll take that one." So,
Well,
Yeah,
Merry
it ended
Christmas.
up being like a huge play for us too.
Sam, we'll do this again. Always love your insight. Keep up the great work with the squad. Nebraska fans are loving this team, man, and it's fun to chat with you here on the Average Joe Sunday Live.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me again.
Get your podcast in. What is it?
Yeah. Sports Section Pod.
The Sports Section Pod or Sports Section Pod?
Honestly, Bill, I don't even know.
Look it up.
Look it
I think
up.
it's just Sports Section Pod.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right. See you
Sam,
guys.
take care.
Thanks,
Thanks, Sam.
There he is. Well, that is analysis of Frager. That's funny.
That is funny.
But we all need a dick. We all need a dickhead in our life. You all need everybody needs a dickhead on their team because he draws the attention and the ire of the other team while you're doing work on the other side of it.
I'm not sure. Do you guys have your copyright law? I do have the video of Frager snatching the middle finger, but I'm not sure about copyright law. Should I pull it up here? I think we're good.
Yeah, what the
see.
hell? Nebraska basketball is 11-0, and the women are up 21-2 after the first quarter.
All right, here we go. Oh, what?
Go.
See it there? If you see that, the middle finger is up there.
Yeah, okay,
And with
right.
the screen, yeah. And then you have Frager come by and snatch that middle finger.
Get that out of here. The whole people turn and look, and there it is.
That was a huge moment in the game, though. With it, when he got that dunk, that's one of those seize the day, seize the game for the home team, and for him to goad him into whatever he goaded him into with whatever he did, and then to have Sanford go down and hit the free throws and get possession. That was a game-changing moment, and that's poise and losing your poise. And we didn't see the guy again. I don't think the rest of the game, as I recall.
And I feel like Nebraska's run into a lot of Big Ten teams this year that have that, that heinous get under your skin white boy that just gets out there and infuriates some opposition.
Hey,
To flip it around, it's a nice piece to have on your team because as you saw yesterday, it was a game-changing play, getting under a guy's skin and drawing that technical foul.
Elijah, bringing that up. Did you guys see who was on Wisconsin's bench? The guy that played in the Big Ten for 12 years, Brad Davison.
Yep.
Who got under everybody's skin.
Oh, yeah.
He's now on Greg Gard's staff. So when I saw him, because Wisconsin's coaches still wear suits, I was like, ooh, he looks uncomfortable. And I'm like, my God, he'll never leave Wisconsin. Like if they need a player, they just point at him and Davidson comes in the game and they're like, I guess he has a game of eligibility left. Yeah, everybody like Kraft was that guy at Ohio State. Every good team in the Big Ten has that one white guy that gets under your skin. And now Nebraska has that. So Nebraska basketball is legit.
Wojciechowski, remember that clown from Duke for 100 years?
Yeah,
Grayson Allen.
remember him.
Yeah.
Who is the dude? There was a guy from Michigan that played with like Trey Burke that was really good, but he get under your skin. A stretch 4 type.
Hey, there's no question the guy we just had on the show was that.
Yeah, and then he handed it off to Frager.
He did.
He's like, I'm too old to do that stuff.
Passing the torch.
Well, Sam got under your skin in a different kind of way. He was not the guy that was going to sit there and chirp in your ear. He was the guy that you were going to look at across the court and be like, what's this 5'10" dude going to do? And then he's snatching your cookies all game long and making you look bad.
Yeah.
Outplaying you. Just making you look brutal. That's pretty good.
I appreciate Sam coming on, and he'll join us again as the season goes on, and maybe longer. Who knows? So
good for him. Fellas, some final thoughts on a Sunday live. I know
Big
NFL
volleyball match coming up.
on Elijah's radar, but yeah, do we feel good? Does A&M win a set today, or is it just continued dominance by Husker volleyball?
This A&M team's good.
They are.
Let that be known.
And they're not scared. They let that be known yesterday.
They're not scared. I think Husker volleyball is in for a bit of a battle today. I still think this Husker volleyball team is and has a chance to go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, college volleyball team of all time with the talent that they have. They're motivated. They're excited. I think A&M throwing their best punch still might be far from what Nebraska has. That being said, this is the first game of the NCAA tournament where I feel a little apprehension just with how some NCAA tournament runs have gone in years past. If Texas A&M can make this Husker team tighten up, I get a little bit nervous, but I also think based on everything I've seen this year from this Husker volleyball team, they're not prone to tightening up. I mean, last time you saw it was really at Kentucky when you went down 2 sets. And then what happened? You come back and you reverse sweep them and get the win. This team, they aren't prone to getting tight, at least so far this year, like they have been in years past. But if A&M can throw a punch early and get this team a little bit nervous, they go out and win the first set. It might be scary hours for some Husker volleyball fans, but this team does feel different. They feel like one of the greatest I've ever seen with my own eyes.
All right, let me read you this quote. So this is Rebecca Alec. She was asked yesterday about Texas A&M, and she said, quote, "We thrive in this environment. I kind of compare us to the Marines. We are constantly pushing each other each day. We get pissed off when it's not a perfect rep, and we want nothing more than to play someone who can punch us back."
Mm-hmm.
For them
I think
to
they're
be,
going to find a little bit of that today.
For them to be inviting that, I mean, that just speaks to championship mentality. Clearly, they've got the ability and the talent, and then just the way they've been coached. And you got to be on your toes, man, because if you're not doing the job, doesn't matter if you've got 50 All-American honorees on your wall, you're replaceable. I mean, the whole mentality of the team's super impressive, but they want the smoke, I guess is the best way to put it.
Here's a fun little exercise. So you know what the Devaney Center is going to be like today. I mean, it can be scary for opposing teams. It's sometimes like when Nebraska gets squeezed a little bit, it can be a tension convention in there because it's so ramped up of the expectations. But it is, I think, the number one home court or home field advantage in Nebraska athletics. What is the second best?
The second best Nebraska.
The second best the Nebraska athletics, whether it be in the spring, the winter, or the fall, home court or home field advantage.
Men's basketball.
It's not close. I mean, it's basketball, it's volleyball, and then there's
volleyball 1, basketball 2, third.
You might have to go softball with the folks that they were packing into bowling last year, because football hasn't been on the fan base. But whenever the fan base shows up and gets loud and the team goes out there and loses, it's hard for me to call it a big home field advantage.
I like wrestling too.
Yeah, funky.
It's getting better. Wrestling's getting better, and with wrestling you have 10 different chapters. I mean, if sometimes the first chapter is good and it builds on itself, especially when it's against Iowa or something. They were amped up for Penn State before, and things don't go well against them. But if it can build from chapter 1 to 5 to 7 to 9. People who love wrestling are into wrestling and into every match and know exactly what needs to happen. And that can be pretty good. Now, it doesn't happen enough. You just don't happen enough. But I love a good Nebraska wrestling crowd when that place is sold out and people are into a match in the third period. That gets pretty fun too. But I actually think it's Nebraska basketball over volleyball, because I've often said the Devaney Center is too often the Devaney Senior Center. And the type of crowd that shows up for Husker basketball, it's different than football. It's different than volleyball. The Husker basketball crowd's a little more blood in the water than any other sport at Nebraska.
It's a little edgier, a little angrier. There is, and what's awesome, and it was cool to hear Sam's take on things. I mean, the first bad call lights that fuse. You're going to get it. It's just when's the whistle happen that pisses off everybody from section 300 to the front row in the Gucci seats. Everybody's unified that guys in the black and white stripes got it against us.
And they got the students where they need to be.
Hey,
they have the students where they need to be at PBA. 100%.
Now, I love the atmosphere in PBA for a big game. Being here in Omaha, I am told that Nebraska fans only show up for the team in blue. So I'm glad that, man, some people showed up for the Wisconsin game because I was a little bit concerned. Yes, I'm a big fan of PBA, especially when it's rolling in there. And all we need is a bad Kelly Pfeiffer call in the first section, and the place is irate.
Who's the tall, bald guy? Is that Pfeiffer?
No, Pfeiffer is he's got a head of hair up top.
He's the guy. Kelly wears the medium. He's from South Dakota. He's actually I've gotten to know him because he works a lot of Summit League games, so I see him a lot. He's a really good guy, but he draws the ire because he works every game, every single game. That's Karsten's. He's the tall bald guy.
Can I also say I think Pfeiffer is a little unfairly maligned? Just because there's a lot of bad refs in the Big Ten and you don't know their names. You just know Kelly Pfeiffer's name because, as you said, Gary, he works every single stinking game. Yeah. So you always see him out there. So everyone knows the name. So he gets a little bit in the line. But there's a lot of worse ones out there than him. I think it's a little unfair to him. I want to
go back to is this when, remember, he's got the famous Fran McCaffrey. Yeah. Look at him. Look at Kelly wearing this medium. He lives in the middle of South Dakota. Mm-hmm. His travel schedule. But back to the Devaney Center. I think anybody that has been in there for a Nebraska volleyball match, it's loud in there. Don't let the people that sit around the floor that show up in the camera and they are just sitting there skew your opinion of how loud it is. Because Friday night, it was bonkers in there. Yeah. And it will be on edge again tonight. It's just, I think if you sit in those seats, because you remember this happened when Nebraska played in Bloomington against Indiana. Do you want those people chirping at the server, or do you want them just sitting there? Because I don't think I could sit in those seats behind the service line because I would be chirping. I would be constantly in the ear and I would be riding the opposing team. But I guess you would would I get removed?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Well, we won't be finding out because I do not have the income to sit in those seats. Those are extremely expensive.
We will pass the hat and send you to the Final Four next weekend.
I think all you got to do is you go up into the upper levels of the Devaney Center, and it's loud up there. But stand in today is the last day of standing room only, guys.
No,
today's the last day of standing room only at the John on the Terry at the Bob. That is raucous up there. That's where the diehard fans that they look and go, you're paying $60 to stand for an entire match, and hell yeah. So I expect it to be really, really loud in there. And maybe then when there's a downtime, they'll throw Trev on Husker Vision and the place will erupt.
Oh yeah. Oh, good call.
Yeah, that is going to be a instant motivational image for the Devaney Center today, whether it's going good or terrible. I don't anticipate it going terrible, but then there he is. Hey, everyone say Merry Christmas to Trev.
Yeah.
I want to go back for a second. Oh, sorry. Gary, go
ahead, Elijah.
I was going to go back for a second and defend my point because I said Husker softball has a great home field advantage. Don't sleep on the home field advantage that Husker softball fans give that team because there's not many teams, especially in the Big Ten, that show up for softball like Husker softball did specifically last season and in years past, but specifically last year. That team fed off the energy of softball, and it's more because of what the rest of the Big Ten has in terms of softball fandom. But I want to make sure to give a shout out to all the fans that go show up to Bowlin Stadium because that the type of support that team gets, and really women's teams in general at Nebraska get, but specifically softball, volleyball, even women's basketball, gives them a big advantage because you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, something else, and this has changed, and it kind of sucks because it's the transition from the Big 12 to the Big 10. But Friday nights at Haymarket Park, whether it be Shane Comine was pitching or whoever, that was a great advantage. And Haymarket Park during conference season was a great home field advantage. It's still a good home field advantage. It's not like it used to be. But I would hope that that'd be great if that returned. Like on Big Ten weekends, we kind of see it because, people sitting on the berms, you got 6,000 in there. I agree with you about bowling, but I want to, as we wind this show down, I want to point something out. So today could be a big day. Nebraska punched their ticket to go to Kansas City. And we've talked about Nebraska men's basketball, and could they get to the second weekend? Guys, does Nebraska have two basketball teams that could be playing on the second weekend? Because right now, Nebraska women, who are 10-0 and also ranked, they're up 38-17 on Illinois State at the end of the first half.
Nebraska and Amy Williams have a dynamite team.
And they're missing one key player that's supposed to return here shortly.
No, that's just it. I mean, that could put them into a deep tournament run. Yeah, you're going to be loving March. Let's just say it right now and burn the tape if we're wrong.
Is Big Ten men and women both in Indy this year?
Believe so.
I don't know.
It's always kind of rotated for the men's. We
didn't have to worry about this last year.
Yeah. No, you have two teams that'll keep Nebraska fans ready in March.
It looks like Chicago this year. United
for both?
For men's at least. Let me check women's. Women's is Indianapolis. So different spots.
Where are the NCAA first round games?
Oklahoma City.
Okay.
I think Oklahoma City is the closest to
not Des Moines, Omaha, or Wichita
not this year.
Listen, if the Huskers are a top 5 seed in especially men's basketball, it don't matter where the first round game is. Husker fans will go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got a spot for us in Arizona if they get sent to Phoenix. Is Phoenix an option?
Okay, so Oklahoma City is the closest. St. Louis. St. Louis and Oklahoma City would be the two closest to Nebraska in the first round. Buffalo, Greenville, South Carolina, Portland, Tampa, Philadelphia, San Diego. Well, I would rather go to San Diego.
We go to South Carolina. We can play some golf.
I'm going to say it.
San Diego has good weather, Schmitty.
This is too early. This is too early for this conversation. I'll say it. Way too early for this. Not that I don't think they're going to make it. Just way too early.
It's all our fault. I know. It's the Iron Horse, Gary Sharp, Bill Dolman.
Who would have thought that Elijah would be the sensible one of the Sunday morning?
He's very sensible. Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt. Real quick thought, Elijah.
Before we go, did you guys see Ahmad Hudson in the state championship game yesterday? And no, I'm not talking about the Ole Miss gloves and the LSU towel and the Nebraska headband. There was a really rough fumble for him, and you feel for him, but his performance was monster. He looked like a man amongst boys out there. And I know there's been a lot of peer recruiting going on as of late with Tay Ellis and Trey Taylor. And hey, Ahmad, I'm not sure if you saw what the Husker basketball team's been doing recently, but you want to play both sports, that's going to factor in. But 6 catches, 179 yards, and a touchdown. And he was just killing dudes blocking as well. That dude is special.
Yeah.
We'll see where he ends up. Good point on Husker Hoops. Like and subscribe 7 days a week for you with the Average Joe Sports Show, YouTube, where you can find us 7 days a week on Twitter, AJ Sports Radio, AJ Sports Pod. Catch Gary and Matt 6 to 10 weekdays on the Zone in Omaha, 1620. Can find us with the Average Joe afternoons, 4 to 6 KFOR Lincoln, and around the state on the Average Joe Network, Kearney, Hastings, Grand Island, Columbus. And your business name can always go under Bill Dolman's Twitter handle, Gary Sharp's handle, at Herbal Essence, at Schmidt_radio. We'll talk to you next time. Enjoy your weekend, and plenty to get into as we continue on with the Average Joe Sports Show. Talk next time. Thanks.
Go Broncos.